Welcome to Doc's Download, the podcast edition, where real conversations meet real Buckeye life. I'm your host, Dr. Melissa Shivers, Senior Vice President for Student Life, and better known as Doc, here to bring you stories, strategies, and a few laughs along the way. Whether you're a brand new Buckeye or a seasoned one, consider this your all-access pass to tips, truths, and triumphs straight from the heart of campus. Let's dive in, everybody. Welcome back to Doc's Download, the podcast edition. I am your host, Doc, and today we are diving into one of the most important parts of the Buckeye experience, community and engagement. At Ohio State, community isn't just about where you live or who you know. It's about creating a culture where every single student can engage, learn, and thrive. To help us explore this, I am joined by three student leaders who play a big role in shaping that culture. Kate Stembler is a resident advisor and so many other things who helps students feel at home in the residence halls and across campus. Melissa McMahon, a community ambassador who supports students living off campus, and Aubrie Belinger, a commuter student and student employee who helps connect commuter students to campus life. Welcome, everyone. It is so exciting to have you all here. Before we jump into today's conversation, I'd love for each of you to introduce yourself and share your favorite thing or things. People have had trouble sticking to one, so now I've added an S to the thing about Ohio State. So if you can just tell us your name, remind everybody of your name, and the thing or things that you love the most about Ohio State. Kate, we'll start with you.
Thank you. My name is Kate Stembler. I'm originally from Phoenix, Maryland, and my favorite thing about Ohio State is the school spirit and the culture we have here.
What's your favorite thing about the culture?
Oh, favorite thing about the culture. I would say just it's anywhere you go, there are always Ohio State people. It is the people who are here love to be here and have such pride about being a Buckeye. And I think there's something really special about a lot of people in a place that they love.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Aubrie.
Hi, I'm Aubrie Belinger. I am from Powell, Ohio, so pretty close to Ohio State. And I would say my favorite thing about Ohio State is the community that we've built here. Being from so close to campus, I was a little worried that I was only really going to stay within my circle, people I went to high school with. But because it's such a big school and so many different people go here, I have had the opportunity to meet so many different kinds of people from all over the country, different backgrounds, and it's really broadened my circle and just how I view life in general.
That's awesome. Thank you. This sounds like a pretty fabulous place that we get to hang out. Melissa.
Hi, my name is Melissa McMahon. I'm originally from Springfield, Ohio. It's about 45 minutes away to an hour, depending on how fast you drive. But I would say my favorite things about Ohio State are, as everyone else has echoed, the community, but just how big our campus is. There's always something going on. I'll see something on Instagram and ask my friend if she wants to go with like an hour in advance, just because there's always something for people to do here.
There's a lot. With 1,400 student organizations, there's always something going on. If you say you're bored, I'll keep it to myself. All right. Kate, I am going to start with you. You serve as an RA, but tell us a little bit more about other groups or organizations or things that give you joy that you do here at Ohio State. And then in thinking about your RA role, how do you help people feel connected and engaged?
Other than being an RA on campus, two of my favorite student organizations are Phi Delta Epsilon, which is the pre-medical fraternity, and Oval Dogs. So starting with Phi Delta Epsilon, often just because medical school is getting increasingly difficult to get into, things are getting increasingly competitive, Phi Delta Epsilon really brought me a beautiful community of students who are really passionate about helping other students in their position, and it creates a really safe environment to make mistakes and ask for help. And I think that is something that is so beautiful and really, really helpful amongst some kind of difficult classes sometimes. Also, one of my favorite organizations is Oval Dogs, and this is one I love talking about. It is a group of students who live off campus who have dogs and socialize their little furry friends about once a week. And I don't have a dog with me at Ohio State, but I have a dog back home who I miss dearly. And the whole club is you can go and hang out with the other people's dogs. You can throw a ball. You can and they are the sweetest. It always brings a smile to my face and definitely makes me feel a little more at home, missing my dog a little bit.
That's awesome. Now, does this activity happen on the Oval? Oval Dog?
It's usually off the Oval, either in like Haggerty Hall courtyard or Derby Hall courtyard. So various locations around the Oval.
I love that. I love that. So do you ever take your residents to Oval Dogs?
I'm planning to. Actually, last year we had Oval Dogs come to us, and we had a Donuts and Dogs event. And oh my gosh, it was so fun. We had some little puppies running around, and my residents, people loved it. It was so much fun.
Now, did the dogs eat the donuts? I'm just super curious.
We were very careful to separate them and like, okay, you gotta eat the donut before or after you go in. There are some very excited friends in there, and I don't think they're gonna mix well with chocolate. So we very carefully had them separated, but they got treats of their own, so they were happy.
Awesome. That's awesome. So you do connect with your residents outside of the residence halls.
Yes, we have a lot of fun.
Good. That's fantastic. I love that. Doc, can you tell us about that when it's happening in the future? We'd love to.
Of course.
We'd
I'll
love
send you
to
an invite.
attend. That would be great. That would be great. So, Kate, I'm going to stick with you here just for a second because we talk a little bit about your role as an RA where you get the opportunity to help students build community. But when you notice there's a student who might not be doing well or struggling a little bit, what steps do you take, Kate, to support them?
So when I see a student who might be struggling to get that community that is so important, we have some conversations about what do you love? Because there is certainly something on campus that, like you said, we have 1,400 student organizations. I think there's like a bread club. And so whatever you're passionate about, we can find something for you. And so sometimes it's taking a first step of, okay, well, our whole floor is headed to the involvement fair on this day. Make sure you mark it on your calendar, or here's the website for the student organizations. I've had some students, I've given some emails about, okay, well, with softball club, this is their leader. So, see if you can reach out and at least come see some practices or join in a couple weeks. So I think sometimes it starts within the suite itself, and then other times it's about going outside of that and finding what someone loves.
That's awesome. Thank you. Because sometimes it is just about getting people to talk a little bit more about their interest. And then when you can direct them, they start to feel that connection, which sometimes you just need that first step, that first little nudge of someone sort of helping you to reconnect with what you love. I really appreciate you saying that. Melissa, you're a community ambassador, so you help connect off-campus students to university life. And tell us more about other things that you're involved in as well. What does thriving look like in your role?
Thriving to me, I'm going to start with the community ambassador role first. So basically what I do as a community ambassador is that we connect off-campus and commuter students to resources that they otherwise would not know that we have. So we have a lot of different living expos and things they can come to. We have a website to help students on campus now to connect them with off-campus housing. We have an off-campus housing network to connect them to landlords and things like that. And all of our events are on the student life calendar because we do have a lot of events that go on with that. We just had a community block party a few weeks ago. So thriving to me looks like getting involved in your community and being surrounded by people that allow you to thrive. So outside of the community ambassador role, I'm in mock trial. That's the main thing that I'm in. And I also just joined USG this year, so undergraduate student government. And I go to a lot of other club events when I have the chance to outside of those two things.
I feel like you're a little busy, though.
Very.
I'm like, I don't know what else you'd have time to do, but let me know how that works for you. That's incredible. That's incredible. And it is so important because when students live off campus, and off campus meaning in some ways across the street from the campus, it can be really easy to disengage. And so having an area, a program, a person who can connect us back to what's happening is so critically important, because what we know is that students who are involved in leadership programs or who are involved in student organizations have higher retention and higher graduation rates. So that importance of getting connected isn't just this soft, fuzzy piece. It really is about creating a space where people feel like they can thrive because they are connected
Absolutely.
to the community. And it just matters so much, so much. Aubrie, you're a commuter student from Powell, Ohio. Yes, yes. And so I imagine that commuter students face maybe some unique challenges. Talk to us a little bit about what some of those are. And if there are other things that you're involved in at Ohio State, tell us about those too.
Yeah, so I love being so close to home, honestly. I'm a homebody, so it's really nice to be able to experience both. I will say commuting, it can sound scary for a lot of people. I know it was a little daunting, but the office that actually Melissa and I both work at, the Willie J. Young Senior Off-Campus and Commuter Student Engagement, it's a mouthful, but we love it. That office has really shown me so many ways to get involved as a commuter student. All the events that we throw, and just talking one-on-one. I feel like getting that student perspective, I sit at the front desk and I get to talk to these students. And I feel like a lot of them may not know what resources we have. So just getting to explain all of the amazing things that we have for them to thrive has been such a good experience. We have the Commuter Hub, which includes the Commuter Kitchen, the lockers, and the lounge. We have that for students who are commuters. It just gives them a place to go between classes if they need to reheat their food. It's just all in one area, so it makes it super easy for them. And so being able to access that and also show other students that has been really amazing. And I also am involved with the office in another way. I do the social media, which has been super fun. So getting to show everyone on that level, using my creativity to be able to show all the amazing things that we do has been really awesome.
I wondered who was behind that incredible social media of OCSC. I always like it and repost it. Nice job.
Thank
You're
you.
very creative.
Thank you. I have an amazing team as well. So
You
shout
do
out.
have an amazing team, but I get to sit right beside the magician.
It's a lot of fun.
I feel super special today. You all do such a great job. And thanks for also reminding us of Willie and his importance to the creation of that office and making it exactly what it is to date. He would be incredibly proud. So moving beyond the things that you all do on a day-to-day basis relative to your roles and your involvement, you also have a responsibility to know what else is happening on campus. And I imagine that all of you have heard of the Monda Student Resource Center that opened late spring of last year. We are very grateful to Keith Monda and Veronica Brady for really providing an incredible gift to Ohio State to be able to provide that resource center where we're able to support food insecurity. We learn a lot about housing insecurity and clothing insecurity and other issues that students might be facing. One of the things that we know is that typically if a student is facing one or many of those challenges, there's usually a little bit more going on. So we also have the ability to be able to connect with students and help provide them with other resources. We are thrilled to have the Reed Family Career Closet as a part of the Monda Student Resource Center. It's been one of the most heartwarming experiences that I've ever had in walking into our our Career Center pop-up closet and seeing so many students finally get to have career clothes so that they can show up in interviews in very whole and authentic ways, and they can focus on landing the job, not necessarily on what they look like. What are some other go-to resources that I may be missing or may not be aware of that you would recommend to students if they need a little extra help?
For Aubrie and I's office specifically, we connect a lot with the student legal services because we really go hand in hand with leasing. So we help students on campus, as I explained, trying to get off-campus housing. So a lot of times students see a lease and it's just a lot of words. They don't know what the legal jargon means. So we connect them to the student legal services to have them connect with the lawyer and have them be able to look over their lease and explain to them what these things mean. And then also Monda, we connect students to organizations and resources like that. And we're actually tabling at Monda starting on October 7th. So anyone who wants to have both get resources for housing and Monda can come see that also. But the student legal services is one of the main things I would say that we help with.
That's fantastic. And thanks for supporting the Monda Student Resource Center. Kate, from your perspective, what are some other needs are there resources that might be available that students may not be aware of?
I think academic support is a big one. We are very fortunate at Ohio State to have so many incredible resources, but sometimes it's just a matter of learning about them and knowing where to find them and how you can get help. So we have the Dennis Learning Center on campus. That is a fantastic tool. I've had several students already ask me about it, and they offer amazing services. One of them is the peer coaching. And so if you're having trouble adjusting to the college course load can be a lot. And so there are peer advisors who can help with things like time management and planning and different study resources. And that is a fantastic thing just because it's not totally easy to go from your high school course load to the one you're seeing in college. And so I think that's a fantastic resource. Other than that, I remember my RA my first year told me about the Math and Stats Learning Center. And I didn't know about it. I had heard a little bit about it in class, but never really thought to go get help. And I was taking Calc 1 and, oh my goodness, you could catch me there several times a week. They had some amazing students there to help with my Calc 1 homework. That was a little tricky for me. And so we also have things like peer tutoring and residence halls, and we have so many incredible academic resources. And it's just a matter of kind of finding them and figuring out how you can utilize them to be most successful in classes.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful. Aubrie.
Yeah, so I think a big thing for me, I am a senior right now, so career is a lot on my mind right now. There is multiple career centers around campus throughout different, whatever your major is or what school you're in. For me, arts and sciences, I have been meeting with a career coach multiple times just to go over my resume, talk about interviewing skills, just getting me ready for this next chapter. I think Ohio State does an amazing job of preparing their students as much as possible because it can be scary out there. So I think just utilizing that as much as possible while I'm still here has been really awesome for me.
That's fantastic. Thank you all. You all are such a wealth of knowledge. I hope that every listener we have today really takes in the amazing resources that you've mentioned. But more importantly, I hope they've gotten to just hear, at least through your voices and perhaps via the video, your very warm spirits and genuine love for Ohio State. I think that can make a huge difference in how someone experiences the institution is by how they've been able to get involved, but also, and perhaps more importantly, your desire to give back to your peers and to make sure that they can try and have the incredible experience that you've had. So I am very grateful for the time that you all were able to spend with me today, and just another great illustration of the amazing students that choose Ohio State. And we are very lucky that you chose us. So before we wrap up, let's do a quick round so that our listeners can get to know you a little bit better. What is your favorite go-to study spot on campus? Anybody?
I would say actually, not to plug again, but the Commuter Lounge is my favorite. It's at the Union on the 3rd floor. It overlooks High Street. I'm a big people watcher, especially at night. The lights, everything looks so pretty. So I sometimes will get distracted and people watch a little too much, but it's my favorite spot.
I love that. You get some studying in there.
Oh, for sure.
I feel confident that it happens. No doubt about it. Melissa?
My favorite spot is Connecting Grounds. It's right on North. When it's not busy, it's a great place to study, and their music, you can always, there's like 2 different vibes that are in there, and I either go with the vibe of I'm listening to their music or I have my AirPods in, but either way, I really like studying there.
If you don't like their vibe, you always have your vibe.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. Kate?
I would say my favorite is Hamilton Hall. I particularly love studying in the cafe. Similar thing. It's a little bit of background noise, which is nice, but it's also quiet enough where I can kind of focus on what I'm doing and get some work in.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's one piece of advice that you would give students who want to thrive at Ohio State?
So for me, I was actually a transfer student. So it was a little daunting.
How are we just getting to that?
I know. I'm sorry. I forgot to put that in my. But
that's incredible.
Thank you. It was a little daunting coming to such a big school, but I will say, getting involved, as we've been talking about, I thought that looked like you had to join a club, you had to join Greek life, all those things. But for me, getting an on-campus job was so crucial for me. It doesn't have to look like those clubs or anything. I got the job, and I have really made a lot of connections through that, not only professionally, but also personally. I've made some really great friends. I got to meet Melissa this year, and all of my amazing full-time staff have just really put me on a path. I feel like I'm going to succeed. So
that is so fantastic. Oh, y'all gonna make me cry. Don't do that. Don't do that. Kate, one piece of advice.
I would say try new things, which sounds, I'm sure everyone's parents have said that, but especially in the beginning, everyone is in the position you're in. Everyone is trying to make new friends. Everyone is trying to find someone to go to Scott with. And so I just think sometimes it's the opportunities that you didn't think would be much, and they turn into something really, really amazing. And while we're talking about how important it is to have your community and to get involved at Ohio State, one piece of advice I was given right before I came to college, it's something I think about all the time, probably some of the best advice I've gotten, is to don't think you're doing anything wrong if you are alone at some point, because especially with how big Ohio State is and how much we're talking about community, I think sometimes people think that, oh, well, if I have dinner alone, I'm doing something wrong. And actually, when I was walking around Scott the other day, that's my favorite dining hall, I was walking around Scott and I realized how many people are eating alone. And it's not a lonely, a sad eating alone. Sometimes your schedule just doesn't line up perfect with a friend, and you're going to grab a quick lunch or a quick dinner alone. So as important as it is to have community and get involved, try things outside of your comfort zone, at the same time, also understand that you're not doing anything wrong if you're spending some time alone, or if, your plans don't work out one night and you're grabbing dinner by yourself.
That's awesome. I'm glad whoever gave you that advice, brilliant.
Wise beyond their years.
Brilliant. So accurate, so true. Melissa?
I agree with everything Kate said in terms of the fact of, yes, we've talked about community, but college is about finding yourself. So a part of thriving is understanding that you're going to be finding yourself like by yourself sometimes. I think another thing I would say is to never be scared to ask for help, because I was like that last year with math, similar to Kate also. Yes. And I waited too long to go to tutoring. And then once I actually did, I was like, why did I not do this sooner? So I think that is a good piece of good advice I would give. And lastly, as I said earlier, it is important to surround yourself with the community, a productive and effective community that will guide you in your thriving, and not people that are going to just blow off classes or studying 24/7.
Melissa, you just wrapped up, Mike. I don't have anything substantive to add to what all of you have shared today. What incredible advice. And the fact that you all are sharing this information with your peers means more than anything I or any other administrator could say. So thank you all so much for joining me for this incredible conversation. I am thrilled, as I said earlier, that you all chose to be Buckeyes. You represent the best of who we are, and we are so fortunate that you're here and that you are making an incredible difference, that your employment has helped to shape who you've become. Your level of involvement and giving back to others it's very clear to me that that's what you care deeply about. And we are just very, very fortunate that you all are Buckeyes. I'm going to say it like 7 more times. I'm not. I'm almost done, everybody. This has indeed been Docs Download, the podcast edition. Until next time, let's keep creating a campus culture where every student can engage, learn, and thrive. Go Bucks. This program is a presentation of the Office of Student Life at The Ohio State University, recorded in the studios of WOSU Public Media. Your engineer is Dalton Jones, producers J. Randall Hicks and Matthew Swearingen, and executive producer Jen Vandemark. The views expressed are those of the host and guest and do not necessarily reflect those of the university. Join us next time for another edition of Docs Download, the podcast.